All right, here we go. Here is the basic drum beat of the week. All right, so what I did there is really quickly, I kind of pulled down the volume on some certain parts so I can let the bass drum be emphasized and then the snare drum be emphasized. What we do in this one is we break it down. So number one, first and foremost, we want to make sure that we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We've got 8 notes getting involved in this. Your quarter notes, which are the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the ands in between all of it, right? So we've got the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and we're going to use that counting to guide everything. So let's pull away from the right hand, which will be playing the hi-hat. We're going to pull it away. We're going to focus on first the bass drum. So in the bass drum, we're going to first play on the 1, and as we work through it, we're going to play 1 and then the and 2. Right after the 2, we're going to play the bass drum on the and. So it's going to sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's slow that down a little bit. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the bass drum is going to get 2 hits, and I'm kind of using this to signify that 1 where we play it and 2 and. So it's the and right after 2 is the second bass drum hit, and then the whole rest of the measure, it just doesn't do anything. Okay. Your snare drum, and we're going to use this to kind of play off and guide. Your snare drum is going to play on 2, and your snare drum is going to play on 4. So simply 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and. So what's important to realize is this is going to be consistent. You'll kind of notice with a lot of our drum beats for a while are going to focus on that 2 and the 4 and the snare drum. All right, so let's look at these together again. Let's see how they play off each other. Because this starts on the 1, we get and, we have nothing going on between these two guys here. Okay, and then on 2, my left hand is going to play that snare drum. And then right after that 2 and, the bass drum is going to follow it. So let's play that. 1 and 2 and. Okay, let's do it again a little bit slower. 1 and 2 and. Even slower. 1 and 2 and. Even slower. 1 and 2 and. Okay. Now the second half of that, the 3 and 4 and, no bass drum. It'll just be your left hand on the snare drum playing on 4, because the goal is to be 2 and 4 on the snare drum. So here we go. Super slow. No right hand. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now here's what that sounds like without counting. Okay? So again, 2 hits out of each of them. This one plays on the 1. After this plays on 2, it follows with the and on there. All right? Let's play a little bit faster, kind of hear that flowing. And let's get that counting back in. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now that you've got the feel, play along with that, okay? Just kind of feel and go through it. I'll start a little bit slow. We'll do 4 measures, and then we'll play a little bit faster for 4 measures. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good, now play a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the right hand back. Here's what's cool about the right hand on the hi-hat. The right hand is going to do nothing but play the hi-hat, and it's going to play it every time. You won't really have to think about it. It's actually the guide for the bass drum and the snare drum. It is your pulse. It's like your heartbeat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And if you want to play it slower, this plays slower. 1. If you want to play slower, this plays slower. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And if you want to play it faster, this plays faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right? So this is the guide. We're going to start slow. We're going to play it all together. Remember, the bass drum's on 1. The and. There's nothing happening between the bass and the snare. 2 and to the bass drum. 3 and nothing. 4 and. Here we go. I'm going to pull the hi-hat out for a second, and the second time around, I'll bring it back in. Here we go. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So what's really cool is this is the guide. So when you hit the bass drum, it needs to line up with the hi-hat. When you hit the snare drum on 2 and on 4, it needs to line up with the hi-hat. And when that bass drum plays that second time after 2, okay, so everything lines up. This is your guide. So let's do that slow. 1 and 2 and ready and go. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, now let's play that a little bit faster. 1 and 2 and ready and go. And 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, so the big emphasis of this drum beat is after the 2 and play back to that bass drum. 2 and, all right, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just let everything kind of guide itself. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Really, really slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All right, that's our groove this week. This is a basic syncopated drum groove. All right, have fun watching that one and learning it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.